Today in Review This Thing, we're going to review this thing, the Athlon Rangecraft Chronograph, and compare it to the Garmin. This is Adrienne with Review This Thing. Last year, we did a complete review on this Garmin chronograph. When we saw that Athlon came out with their own that's about $150 to $200 cheaper than the Garmin, we knew we had to check it out. Athlon was kind enough to send this over to us for test and review, but as always, we will give you our completely honest opinion. As we do the review, I'm going to mix in some comparisons with the Garmin, so hopefully if you're in the market, this will help you decide between the two. As always, we're going to start with the facts. First part is fit. Both devices are very small. The Athlon is slightly larger, but still compact, easy enough to throw in a range bag and you don't even know it's there. The nice thing with the slightly larger size though is that the Athlon is going to have a little bit larger display screen. As far as fitting in your shooting scenario, I really like the tripod. It's made of metal as compared to the plastic one that comes with the Garmin. We haven't had any issues with the Garmin being blown off while we're shooting or anything like that, but this better built one for the Athlon is a nice touch. Like the Garmin, the Athlon has a mounting hole on the bottom. Obviously, it fits the one that comes with it, but you can also fit on your regular tripod, more used for pistol shooting or shooting your bow. As far as fit, I really like the size. Small enough, compact enough, go in the range bag, sit on your bench, don't even know it's there. So because of that, we're going to give fit a 5 out of 5. Now is the Athlon Rangecraft Velocity Pro chronograph as advertised. The first thing that advertised is that it's easy to use. Very similar to the Garmin. You basically turn it on, press OK, new session, then you're going to choose whatever it is you're shooting, choose your expected velocity range and your projectile weight. You're going to place the chronograph within 4 to 10 inches of the muzzle or under the riser of your bow. It's going to automatically measure the velocity of your shots after that point. As you take your shots, in the middle, you're going to see your most recent shot velocity, and then across the bottom, you have your min and max velocities and the number of shots it's recorded. And in the top middle, you can toggle between average velocity, standard deviation, extreme spread, deviation from average, kinetic energy, and a power factor when you put that weight in. Being able to toggle between those on that main screen is really nice. It can store up to 50 sessions with up to 100 shots per session. So then right on the device, you can go back to the history and see any of that information you're looking for. There were two main things that we wanted to compare between these two chronographs. The first is how quickly it can record and analyze shots. The Athlon says it can track speeds from 65 to 5,000 feet per second, where the Garmin's minimum velocity is 100 feet per second. We were curious if it would measure how fast you could throw something. So when you switch that to miles per hour, you get from a minimum of 44 miles per hour to 68. I'd be very interested to get a baseball pitcher that's going to be able to throw faster and test the Garmin as well. If you've used either of these for tracking softball or baseball pitching, then comment and let us know. That velocity range, as I mentioned, also makes it where both can track paintballs, air guns, and your bow. One thing that was a little weird was the Athlon, when I put it on air rifle, wouldn't track the air pistol or the paintball gun. But I was able to put it under air rifle with the long gun and it tracked just fine. As far as consistency, the air rifle measured about 20 feet per second slower on the Athlon, but the pistols measured very closely to one another. As far as shooting it quickly, we took a 5-shot group, pausing just enough to get back on target. The Athlon registered 4 out of the 5 shots, where the Garmin only registered 1 because of the delay in how long it takes it to analyze. So if you're wanting to check velocities when you're shooting quickly with an AR or a pistol, then it's looking like the Athlon is your better bet. The second thing we wanted to compare was consistency and accuracy between the two. I will say we did not use a control chronograph. We just compared them to each other. So we really have no way to know which one was more accurate if they varied. When shooting rifles, the results were very similar. On some, the Athlon showed faster, some slower, but none of them were more than 4 to 5 feet per second off. And standard deviations and extreme spreads were also pretty close comparatively. We had the same outcome when testing a 9mm, very similar averages as well as standard deviations and extreme spreads. But it was a very different story whenever Robbie was shooting his bow. Pretty consistently over several rounds, the Athlon showed a higher standard deviation and extreme spread. And the average speeds were also pretty different. Of course, as I said, we're not sure which one was more accurate, but Robbie built these arrows and has weighed them all out, so they're very, very close, which makes me hope that the Garmin was more accurate there. So if your primary use is archery and you want to make sure that those numbers are as exact as possible, you may want to go with the Garmin. I am going to take some off because we're not sure that it's accurately measuring bow and arrow speed. So we're going to give As Advertised a 4.8 out of 5. Now onto construction and durability. The Athlon Rangecraft has an IP67 rating, which means it should protect against dust and it should be waterproof. The Garmin has an IPX7 rating, which means they haven't rated it to protect against dust. Like the Garmin, the Athlon has an onboard rechargeable lithium-ion battery. It's advertised to last up to 6 hours. The other day we shot for, I think it was about 3 hours, and they both used about 30% of the battery. The screen is a trans-reflective LCD screen, so you can still see it even in sunny conditions. The Garmin also has the LCD screen. However, I feel like the Athlon is a lot brighter and it's slightly larger, so to me it's easier to read. One thing with construction that may seem incidental to you, but I absolutely love, is that the Athlon comes with its own case. When I'm throwing it in my range bag, I want to keep it protected, and it's really nice that Athlon provides this for you. Athlon does have the Athlon Ballistics app that you can connect this to. You can go back and see your 10 most recent saved sessions. From there, you can also name the sessions, edit your shots, specify your projectile, and put any notes like weather, group size, and you can mark if it's a cold bore or a clean bore shot. Then this is an extra step, but in the app you can create a specific rifle and bullet profile. Once you build those, after you shoot, you can sync those velocities to that setup in the app. Then the app uses that information to help create a dope for that gun and that bullet. Now, the more you shoot that rifle ammo combo and get velocities, the more accurate that dope is going to be. And you can even export it as an Excel spreadsheet. The only thing I don't like about it is that it only saves your 10 most recent in the app. So if you're shooting a lot of different sessions, then you're going to have to go to the device itself and write out all that information if it's more than 10. Now, Garmin does have the Shot View app. You can still see the groups and the min-max, that sort of thing, but it doesn't have that additional ballistic functionality as the Athlon. Overall, I really like the way the Athlon Rangecraft is built. The app is super cool, and it has a 1-year warranty. I'm going to take a little off because a longer warranty would be nice because of it being an electronic device. So I'm going to give construction and durability a 4.9 out of 5. Now onto testimonials and reviews. There aren't a lot of reviews on the Athlon Rangecraft because it's basically brand new, but most of them are very positive. The only complaint that I could find was one person said he didn't like the app. He wanted to be able to use a PC or a Mac connection instead of having to do it through his phone. He also said that he didn't like having to write everything down. As I said, I wish it would show you all 50 sessions that it can store, especially because it has a filter so you could pull out specific guns and see what kinds of speeds you're getting. You know what we do? We tell you the score we found, so Testimonials and Reviews gets a 4.9 out of 5. Now finally, should you buy this thing? There are a number of things that I like better about the Athlon Rangecraft. It comes with a protective case, the tripod is heavier duty, the screen is brighter and easier to see, you can toggle through that information right there on your screen, you can shoot faster, and the app provides more functions. I also like the fact that most of the time you can find the Athlon Rangecraft for about $200 cheaper than the Garmin. But as we said, the Athlon does not seem to be as accurate with a bow as the Garmin. So depending on your primary use, this should you buy this thing score is going to vary. But for us, we mostly use it for rifles and handguns and a little bit for bow and arrow. So we're going to have to give it a 5 out of 5. Hey, thanks for watching our Athlon Rangecraft Velocity Pro Radar Chronograph review. While you're here, like it, comment, share it with your friends. Head over to our website, reviewthisthingtv.com, and subscribe to our newsletter. Also, subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any great videos. And go ahead and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X.